And which is why CJNG manages to become the most expansionist, powerful, and violent cartel across Mexico and have essentially power over almost every single Mexican state. Because between the finances, between the brains, the historical power, these guys can obviously pop off, right? They had, I mean, we knew this, but after documents were published of what was found in El Mencho's country club house where he was killed, there's like lists of all of the politicians and all of the police that were on the payroll. Yeah, so they have like, but basically, okay, so CJNG, the leader of CJNG, El Mencho, he was from Michoacan, obviously a green gold state. We've talked about the avocado trafficking before, you know, that monopoly that organized crime has on agriculture in Mexico. He actually illegally migrated to the US. He was then deported for like drug related charges. He also like took the blame for like this murder that his brother did. And there was like a bunch of lore of his life in the US at a certain point. He gets deported, goes back to Mexico, becomes a police officer. He eventually gets married to kind of the brains behind this all, to Rosalinda Valencia. And she is from the notorious Valencia family who started the Millennial Cartel back in 1950s to 70s.
In the 50s?
Oh, yeah, they're like the OGs.
I was going to say, that's way back.
Yeah, they're the OGs. And they became the Millennial Cartel. They actually started with the agriculture stuff. They're from Michoacan. The avocado trafficking and stuff, using those routes to then traffic like coke, opium, weed.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And
so
then
they're like the Kennedys of Mexico.
They literally are. Yeah. They are so extremely powerful. And then she has like almost 20 siblings, and they're known as Los Cuinis. Like they are I would probably say the richest family in Mexico.
Los Cuinis?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean, translated?
I don't know. That's just
it's just like a slang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it has like a direct translation. I don't know. My Spanish is good, but like sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I'm not Mexican, so
we'll pull up Duolingo or something.
I don't think Duolingo will teach you that.
Whatever.
Anyways, they end up, it's like a blood alliance, right? Because El Mencho starting his CJNG, he gets with, and there was already nexus between Mencho's family and Los Cuinis in a way. They get together. Los Cuinis, the Valencia family, ends up funding CJNG and Mencho. Yeah. And so essentially they're like the financial stronghold, whereas CJNG is like that violent powerhouse trafficking, that kind of paramilitary stronghold, right? And which is why CJNG manages to become the most expansionist, powerful, and violent cartel across Mexico and have essentially power over almost every single Mexican state. Because between the finances, between the brains, the historical power, these guys can obviously pop off, right? They had, I mean, we knew this, but after documents were published of what was found in El Mencho's country club house where he was killed, there's like lists of all of the politicians and all of the police that were on the payroll. Yeah, so they have like, okay, this police force, like the police of Tuito, the police of Tomatla, and how much they're making, and then the state police, and then certain people on the federal police. And they referred to the federal police as Los Negros. And then people saw that. Yeah, because you guys are fucking American and you guys saw that and you're going, oh my God, CJNG is racist. And it's like,
that's not where I was going. I just want to know why they referred to
because
it like that.
Federal police drive black police cars. And so that's how they would just.
Los Negros.
No, literally, people were like, oh my God, they're racist. It's like, bro, this is Spanish. Okay. That pissed me off so bad.
Well, at least they kept a nice documented list for the Mexican IRS so they could review it later and properly go through the balance sheet. I mean, listen, I don't like cartels, but I do like my cartels to be organized financially.
Well, it's called organized crime for a reason, because.
But organized financially, you know.
Right? Because apparently in order to be a narco, you have to know how to use Excel.
Wait, they were doing this digitally?
Yeah.
No. And when you said that, I thought you meant like they were actually writing it down.
No. It's like Excel spreadsheets printed out. Yeah, I know. So
Microsoft should cut an ad about that. Even the cartels use it.
If it works for El Mencho, it'll work for you.
Anything to get our mind off the Epstein files. Don't
Oh
worry
my
about Bill
God.
Gates.
People keep saying that and it's pissing me off because you know what? Like multiple things can exist at once.
That's true.
And
it's just Bill Gates is kind of, he's in some la trouble or whatever.
sakes.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to eventually bring this up because this has like been your beat lately.
Mhm.
And I'm like, this is so out of my spectrum of coverage, honestly. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to stay on cartels today.
Okay, good.
I'm just saying that as a side comment because I don't like Bill Gates. That's all.
It's fair enough.
Okay.
I don't really think anyone should, but
Yeah, I
whatever.
agree.
So basically, yeah, so CJNG has this stronghold and they have a ton of politicians on their payroll, obviously law enforcement, National Guard, military, and really for them, like obviously it's a lot of money, but then certain police and certain sicarios like hitmen and stuff, if these spreadsheets are real, which I think that they are, they're not making a lot of money. Like a sicario is making 4,000 pesos a month. That's like in USD, what is that? Like $200?
It's not a lot. I don't know what the translation is, but it's not a lot.
Well, it's like what?
Deef can check it. Either way.
I think like 20 pesos to $1.
I would think they'd be making more than that. I mean.
Yeah, you're putting your life on the line and
Yeah.
killing for that much is crazy. But obviously this has to do.
Yeah, 226
Oh, I was
US
close.
dollars is a peso. You were right there.
So
For 4,000 pesos.
yeah, so it's just, it really goes to show how CJNG managed to really infiltrate culture and society as a whole, right? There's so much music. I've talked about this before. I get a lot of hate about this, about how they really became like a propaganda machine. And, you know, like narco corridos, like narco music and movies and media has always existed, but CJNG managed to do it in such a way where they built a brand, okay? And like El Mencho, he loved cockfights and he was known as El Señor de los Gallos, the man of the roosters? Yeah.
I mean,
roosters.
probably. Yeah. Pause.
Sorry. Because
It's okay.
I couldn't directly translate.
I'm proud of myself. I'm keeping a straight face.
I cannot. I'm
All right,
sorry.
we'll bleep it out and then we'll cut this part right there.
Okay.
We'll
that's
do a
fine.
bleep and cut it to me and we'll just have a pause laugh.
Okay. And I also knew this was going to be a
I'll
problem
touch that up.
because I've been speaking Spanish the whole time and I was
That's okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Yeah. So, what were
So
you
he
saying?
had-
Hold on. What were you saying before that?
he had a whole brand surrounding
Okay.
him.
All right. So you finished laughing.
So his brand honestly brought more notoriety and was like convincing for a lot of people. When I was over there, I actually went and met with someone who sings and writes really popular narco corridos. He wouldn't give me an interview, but his songs are very much in support of CJNG and like they have a great beat and like the lyrics are super catchy. And he actually told me, he was like, you know, what I don't like is how sometimes I get messages or meet people who are like, bro, your music made me join CJNG. And
He
like,
doesn't like that?
no, he said, bro, that's not how it's supposed to be. This is fiction. Like, this is not supposed to be convincing you. But this is the problem, right? So a lot of this music, it's like I've talked about this before. It's like gangster rap, like, especially in the 90s where it really did like hype people up to join the gang life and stuff like that. Anyways, the point is, CJNG managed to build like this whole brand. Like if they were to have sold merch, it would have been amazing. No, for real. It would have. How is that funny?
CG.
What?
It was funny to me and D.
Clearly. I don't know why.
Imagine you just walking here with like CJNG Yeah, no, I don't. I've heard a lot about. We've talked about it with other people too about like the music influences and stuff, and it's interesting when you tie it to like gangster rap in America. But I think I was talking with Ed Calderon about this. To me, when you're actually saying the names, which they do in gangster rap sometimes too, by the way, when you're actually saying the names of the gang and like in this case the cartels and totally glorifying it, when in fact also, let's be real, the cartels are what run the country.
Yeah.
You know, like gangs in America aren't good, but they don't run the country. You know, what do you think's going to happen? There's not a lot of opportunity. A lot of people are going to be like, well, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, it seems luxurious. It's like they're talking about how you get to shoot a Scar and have Rolex and G-Wagon or whatever. Like, it's really glorified.
Thank you guys for watching the episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and smash that like button on the video. They're both a huge, huge help. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram and X, those links are in my description below.